Dr. Alexis, people got things twisted here. So our first myth, black don't crack. So what say you?
So there's a little bit of truth to this myth in that those with skin of color actually do age much better than our friends who are not as melanin rich because we've got a little extra protection in there. We also have thicker, more resilient collagen and elastin, so we just age better. However, we still lose our collagen, we still lose our elastin, we just lose it at a slower rate, but we definitely still get some aging properties that happen on the skin. The fine lines happening around the eyes, the smile lines starting to actually show up, that's all signs of aging. So we definitely do have aging, and the whole black don't crack is not correct.
Okay. So another thing that kind of alludes to this, right? So there's no secret. I have tons of videos on it. I don't hide the fact that I have done filler, I have done Botox, I've done other types of procedures, microneedling, PicoSure, things like that, right?
All the good
but
stuff.
Another myth. Yeah, all the good stuff. The another myth that I keep hearing is that cosmetic procedures make you look fake. And I kind of see where this one comes from, but I'd like to get your point of view on it.
So again, another slight truth too, because if you do too much or you go to the wrong doctor to get your procedure done, you may look fake, you may look like a whole new person, but if you go to the right place to get it done and you strategically do these procedures where you don't overdo them, you're just doing a little bit of correction or enhancing your natural beauty, then it can look beautiful, can look natural. Your work has been absolutely amazing. So your dermatologist is doing a fantastic job, and I think you're a really great example of being able to do work and still look super natural.
Yeah, Dr. Michelle plays no games. I love her
too.
so much. And yeah, and I was also like, I didn't want to get on YouTube one day and people like, who's that? I have to look like you.
Absolutely. So that's the key,
right.
Going to the right place.
Okay. So another one that I hear a lot, right? Not necessarily from my audience on YouTube because we have a different type of relationship, but sometimes when I post things on Instagram or maybe someone who comes across my channel that's, not really drinking the skincare Kool-Aid, is that sunscreen, instead of protecting us from cancer, gives us cancer.
So I don't know where this myth came from, but there's not a lick of truth to this one. It's absolutely incorrect. Sunscreen indeed protects you from cancer. There's nothing even to debate on this. It's just wrong, completely false.
Yeah. You know what I think it comes from? Because there are a lot of people who read headlines and not necessarily articles. Even before the articles that came out about the benzene contamination.
Oh, maybe that's where it came from.
Which I think that once, the layers were kind of pulled back on it, we had a lot of experts really tell us what was really going on there. And I think it may have been, sensationalized a bit. But even before then, I think people would read articles from, the site that we love to hate, the Environmental Working Group, and people would say things like, oxybenzone or homosalate, those are like endocrine disruptors, and like all this false information that people get about sunscreen, I think kind of made people think that sunscreen causes cancer.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of misconceptions out there about sunscreen, and people are always looking to kind of twist and turn different stories around, so that might be where it came from, but there's absolutely no validity to that comment. Sunscreen does not cause cancer.
Now on to that, another myth that I'm hearing is that black people don't even need sunscreen. I already know what your answer is going to be, but for the people in the back that can't hear.
So for the people in the back that are not watching either one of our channels, for sure, black people, brown people, all people need sunscreen for many reasons. Of course, skin cancer, but that's less prevalent in the more melanin-rich kind of demographic. But for hyperpigmentation, you really need it. For anti-aging properties, you really need it. So sunscreen is definitely something that everyone, no matter their skin tone, should be wearing.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, now, again, this is what I hear. I don't shoot the messenger, right? So
no.
I have, Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just here
Oh, God,
trying
what
to
you
dispel
got?
some of the myths that I see on the internet. But pertaining to sunscreen, at one point, a couple of years ago on Twitter, there was a graphic going around with various types of natural types of products: shea butter, red raspberry oil, coconut oil, and their SPF values, which, obviously they had very low values, but people were suggesting, instead of using these cancerous sunscreens, that you can use things like red raspberry oil, coconut oil, and shea butter to protect you from the sun. I already know what your answer is going to be, but again,
For the people in the
folks in the
back.
back.
No, wrong.
Yes.
Absolutely inaccurate. So let's say that this diagram, which thank God I have not seen, said that red raspberry was SPF of 3. As you said, it was something really low. And the most melanin rich person has at most built-in SPF of 13. At most. So you don't add the different SPFs, right? It's not like the 3 plus the 13, now they've got an SPF of 16. That's not how SPF works. So it still would be too low. You need sunscreen, at least SPF of 30. So no matter what, if you're not getting an SPF of 30, my friend, it's not going to work. Leave the natural products for what you're using them for outside of sun protection. And maybe not use the natural product, depending on what it is.
Okay, good. I'm going to take a sound bite of this because I actually got a comment on my Instagram the other day on one of my posts where someone said that, because I had actually had in the caption that red raspberry oil, shea butter, because I already know what some people are going to say before they even say it. So I'm like, just don't listen to caption, right? So someone said, do you have a source for the red raspberry oil? Because my mom uses it. I was like, wait, your mom uses red raspberry oil as her sunscreen? Yes. And the person said yes, and she won't stop bragging about how it's like this natural solution. So I'm actually going to clip that sound bite and like post it every time somebody comes to me with the red raspberry oil or the coconut oil or what have you as sunscreen protection.
Please. And truthfully, if someone's putting on oil before their sunscreen, then the sunscreen doesn't actually get a chance to set up the film properly. So I would avoid using the oil even if you're putting it on right before your sunscreen.
Okay. Now this one, again, I'm just a messenger here. Acne results from having dirty skin.
So acne is a true medical condition. It's why you need to see a dermatologist if you're not able to actually treat your acne over the counter. So it comes from a multitude of different pathologies, if you will. Things like bacteria and inflammation and sebum, or your oil glands overproducing, and even your keratinocytes actually clog the pores. So this is an actual pathology. It has nothing to do with having dirty skin. The small amount of truth in this is if you don't properly cleanse your skin, you can worsen your acne. You can get more acne flares. If you don't clean like your cell phones and your pillowcases and your towels, you can actually worsen your acne flares. So it's important to be very hygienic, but that alone doesn't actually cause the acne.
Okay, good. So you guys, again, take this clip, take the whole video, send it to your aunties, your grandma, because usually, unfortunately, sometimes those are the people that kind of perpetuate these myths. Don't be so mad at grandma and auntie and them. They mean well. It's just that they're not equipped with, the right information, and they might actually be making the situation worse for you. But moving on to the next myth. Clean or natural products work better. This is one I hear so often. What's your take, Dr. Alexis?
I'm actually really excited for this myth to go away. I hope that it does one day soon. I think that the more people like you and I are actually educating the consumers that are believing this marketing hype, the more they're actually going to make the right choices. But clean and natural is not better. The example I always give for a patient who comes in and tells me I only want the natural products is that poison ivy is natural, and poison ivy is terrible for your skin. So everything that is natural is not necessarily something you should be putting on your skin. It doesn't make it better, and then sometimes it makes it very dangerous. So when you look for all of these free of this and free of that, Sometimes you actually need the stuff that it says it's free of, like preservatives. That way you can actually preserve the product and not get contaminants and bacteria and free radicals on your skin. So please do not believe the hype. Clean and natural does not mean that it's better.
Listen, you guys, believe it or not, there are actually more myths about black skin. Hop on over to my channel where Dr. Alexis and I will discuss the rest of them.
You're so funny.